Hello, fellow 7 Days to Die gamers. This is Games for Kicks, and welcome to episode 21 of my Let's Play series. Now, you will notice I'm on day 30. Yes, indeed. Last time, I don't remember what day we were, but it was before day 28 even, I believe. And oh, we have a horde incoming. Frames are about to drop. Well, it's the middle of the day, so why don't we empty our loot sacks before I get to it. Get rid of these guys and loot them, because they surely have something delicious in store. Let's keep this just in case. Okay, now let's get cracking some skulls. Basically what happened is, the reason I'm on day 30 is very simple. I recorded day 27, I skipped day 26 or something similar to that. I skipped a day because I was doing some resource gathering during that day, because I wanted to build a greenhouse. That was my surprise for you guys, that the next big thing I was going to build was a greenhouse. So I can start a proper kind of farm thing. So let's pick up the loot that we have so far before the other guys show up. Anyway, and what happened is, my software, my recording software I'm using, crashed and completely snapped out of completely went bonkers. Yeah, and I couldn't get it fixed again. I don't know what happened. It caused me loads of problems, and I was unable to continue recording. So the problem was, I didn't notice that it stopped recording, because it didn't visually give me any indication that it did. So to that end, I recorded a full episode of building a greenhouse, well, starting to build a greenhouse, and even recorded the horde all in one session. I split it into two, and again thought I was continuously recording, which I didn't. So to that end, you missed day 28 horde, day 27 building greenhouse, or starting to build the beginning of building a greenhouse, and you missed it all now. And I'm very, very annoyed. I was very frustrated, so I even tried changing recording software, and I switched to something called DxTory, and then I started recording with that again, and it looked fine. But then all my audio was out of sync. I had huge audio problems, and I couldn't figure out why. Now, DxTory is a very complex program when it comes to these type of recordings, in the sense that it looks like you can just download it, click it, and it runs, and it probably will, absolutely. But I had to do some research then. So the next 2 days I spent doing some research, trying to figure out how to set this up properly, and that is, to that end, why it took so long for me to start recording again. Now the funny thing is, my old recording software also works again. There was something seriously not working right on my computer, and I have no idea what it was. It was so bad. Just before the day 28, or on day 28, everything started going wrong. Then the horde came and everything started going more wrong. So I apologize that you guys missed all that, but you know what? Day 28 horde wasn't all that impressive. I had no scratches on my house. The Fun Pimps have nothing on me when it comes to feral hordes. Ha! That was a taunt, that was a challenge, Fun Pimps. No, I'm just messing. I'm sure they're still optimizing all this, and they're fully aware of that right now. These things there need to get more damaged by zombies walking over them, because in the moment, unless the zombies hit them, nada, zero. They just don't seem to get damaged, unless the cops blow up on them. Anyway, so that was my big lowering ranting intro of why you missed so many days. I'm really, really sorry. My greenhouse is luckily not finished, so I will go over it now. What we have to do is we upgrade it, because that is the fun part now. First, I'm gonna need to put all this rubbish away. Okay, so I sorted out my inventory now. I'm gonna get all my bits of wood which I have gathered in the last day. The good thing was I needed to gather a lot of resources, and I have the forged iron, sorry, the iron ore burning there, so I can make the forged iron to upgrade my pillars down there. The good thing was I could test all my software configurations again and all the changes I made, and to make my recordings work again. While you can see all the trees are gone. I mean, seriously, I completely vaporized most of these trees, like, and I needed so much wood. Now, my greenhouse, let's get to it. Let's go over it. I'm gonna show you from over here because you have a better view on it. So this greenhouse, this is gonna be a greenhouse, okay? Down there, that's just, again, my typical design that I prefer to use, where I force, with ramps, the zombies to go on top of everything. And, I will upgrade all this. So I will give it only the initial treatment of upgrading it once. Now what you see here is just me doing, again, as I said, my typical design with the ramps. So I forced the zombies to go on top of the spikes because I don't want them to stand in front of the spikes and continuously hit them and eventually destroy them. So what I will do for the moment is I will only upgrade them once, because I don't think the zombies ever hit them. The only damage I ever saw the ramps or the spikes to receive was when the zombie cops exploded, the spitters. Now, if you wonder about the exact design of this, I actually put a little bit of thought behind it. The biggest problem I always see with big buildings, when people build them on legs and put loads of spikes underneath, is that they cannot reach all the spikes to repair them. Now, to that end, I thought, okay, what can I do to solve this problem, that I don't have to constantly find a way of self-healing while repairing? And I came up with this. So I hope it will work. Basically, the idea of this is that the zombies will... Sure, they can walk over this, absolutely, and don't get hurt. But I don't really care about this. As long as this... Oh, that's my spa movement. As long as they're not... You see, I can hit this, okay? But I think that zombies don't attack 2 blocks away. I don't think so. I think zombies always walk to the adjacent block when they attack something. Now that's just... You know, that's just the way I think it will be. But you know what? I could be absolutely wrong about that. And the zombies attack this, so this is kind of a trial and error now. If the zombies happen to destroy, start attacking my pillars standing on the safety of these wood planks, then absolutely. The only reason I put these wood planks there is so I can reach every single spike everywhere to repair them. And that's why I have them every 3 rows. So every 4th row is one of those wood planks. And I think it's a good design from a maintenance point of view. However, it could be the worst design from letting zombies stand here and attack pillars, if they do that. I just have not observed ever zombies staying 2 blocks away attacking anything. But again, I could be absolutely wrong about that, so time will tell. For the moment, I'm happy with the way it looks, and it will take no time to really destroy all that with a fire axe and go through it on a day and just rip it all back out and put some spikes in, so I'm not really too worried. Now, we are currently not really in need to upgrade the logs, the spikes, because this is not my main building, so don't forget that. So the zombies will actually always come where I stand, so I will probably not even be there when the zombies attack, or will move into my main building. Now, the greenhouse, the way I designed it is I put all these pillars there and they will go through the greenhouse, meaning that you can actually extend the greenhouse going upwards. And it should be all pretty solid and it should not collapse. I don't know if blocks have a limit on how much you can build on top of them. I mean, I have built on top, like, you know, the Minecraft thing where you kind of build place a block, jumps, place a block, jump, place a block, jump. I've done that in test mode, and I built so high that I could barely see the ground, and they have not collapsed. So I don't think blocks are affected by how many blocks are on top of them. I think the whole mass and max load, if you look at the max load, yeah, and the mass, that's 36. That's 6 times 6 is 36. So if you divide max load by mass, you get the number of blocks that you can put adjacent to that with that same mass, of course. Yeah. So if I take wood, I can put another 5 or 6. I think it's the 6th one is the one that collapses. I can put 5 wood frames adjacent, hanging mid-air to it, onto it before it collapses. But if I put a scrap iron on it, because scrap iron has a mass of 20, that's more than 6. It's worth actually more than 3 of those. I can only put probably 1 on it, and the second one will fall off. So, but I have never seen an issue building them just continuously on top of each other, just sideways, like boom, 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 like this way. Okay, so let's continue with the upgrade now. Based on that logic, which I don't think is wrong, because I've tested all this quite extensively. But again, I could have been just mixing up my numbers and getting this wrong. I think you can, based on these numbers, I think you can continuously upgrade this greenhouse as high as you want, which is great, because it means you don't have to worry constantly about more space and more space and more space. Now, I will only upgrade, as I said, the first pass, and we are going through a good bit of wood, so what I might actually do... Oh, I still have 56 wood logs, so yeah, absolutely nothing to worry about there. Okay, yeah, you will find throughout my videos, whenever I place wood spikes, I continuously walk into them. It's what I do, it's my thing. No, it's not. But it's something that continuously happens to me, so that looks much nicer. Okay, now, oh yeah, these random holes I have everywhere from the trees that I took out, have to run around and fix them at some stage, put a nice fence around it or something, I don't know, something like that. Let's go up here and continue upgrading the floor. You also will notice that the actual floor is only these rows here, and that the row I put outside it, this row here, is actually an additional row that is hanging over. If you look, it's hanging over the edge, and that is so the zombies can't crawl up there and go on top of it. So that way they won't be able to crawl into my one of these days they won't be able to crawl into my greenhouse. Okay, and this here will be my entrance into my greenhouse, and it will just be a block over it, to be honest, in the end, and then the zombies won't be able to be smart enough to get past that. So let me continue upgrading. Now, what to talk about while I'm doing this? Alpha 10. Ha! Yes. They haven't released much information, but on one of the devs' blogs, he releases images every now and then of what they have planned, and I have to say, there's some serious interesting stuff coming up. I mean, in the moment, for example, when you don't really have to worry about building a base for the house, like I can just build this on grass or anything. I don't know exactly what they're changing to terrain effects, but I know for a fact, well, sorry, according to the screenshots, they have added now a logic or the ability to build concrete foundation, basically pouring concrete into a foundation, so you make a hole and you put in plasterboard walls or something like that, mixed with concrete, some weird thing like that. And once you have the frame and you have that big square hole, you can pour concrete into it, and it hardens into a concrete foundation. And I think that is pretty cool. Like, so they're actually playing around with proper construction mechanisms on building houses, and I find this amazingly interesting. Because it opens up all sorts of possibilities, you know, like maybe they will do it that if you build like 30 blocks on top of each other, the bottom one will crack and collapse, end of story. So you need good foundations. Another thing I have seen they do is armor. I think in the moment they have separate designs for, in single player I don't think it makes much of a difference, because I think they removed third person view, which used to be F5 I think. from the game, because I don't think it works anymore. The reason I say I don't think, I haven't pressed it, and I'm not going to press it because it actually is linked to one of the key features of my recording software, which I don't want to execute. Anyway, so, and they look pretty cool. So you can make leather armor, as you can do in the moment, but they actually added designs now. So when you look at this, in the moment you don't see any designs. It's just the dude. Like he actually is, I think, naked at the start. So when you put on a leather jacket, the leather jacket actually will be reflected here. And I don't know if it's here in that screen, but you will start seeing on the character actual change in clothing or attire, if you want to see. The coolest thing is they have scrap armor. I don't know if they're gonna release that, or if it is higher than iron armor. I don't think so, because iron is made out of scrap. But if you find scrap, you can make scrap armor, and some of the images look really cool. I mean, you're talking like a stop sign being like part of the breastplate, things like that, you know. So it looks like really makeshift and something that you probably would do if you would find yourself in the real world trying to craft armor like that. So you would just pick up what you can find and wrap it around you, you know, with strings and all sorts of things. And this is what that scrap armor looks like, and it's really cool. The other thing I heard rumored they're gonna do is they're gonna make changes to how the zombie behavior. They call that I think it's the 2.0 engine, or whatever they call it, yeah, for the zombie engine. And what they will add, which I'm kind of in two minds about, I'll tell you now, is scout zombies. So they're planning on adding scout zombies. And the idea is that it is, as the name says, they're scouts. And say one of them scout zombies walks past here, he will notice you and he will run back and get backup, basically. Probably say a horde or two hordes to come and kill you. In a way, I like that they're trying to find ways to make your life more difficult for you. Because you get very quickly at a stage, I mean, I'm at day 30 now, I'm at a stage where I think I could pretty much endlessly survive now, without ever having to move from the space. So I was, if you look at the map, I was not forced at all to ever explore much of the map. Now, that is the challenge, especially in single player, the Fun Pimps have. Oh, the frames drop massively when you open the map. That is amazing. Wow. That is pretty interesting. Sorry for getting sidetracked. But basically the Fun Pimps have a challenge there. They have to, obviously, especially on random worlds, what's the point generating a massive random world if you don't give, I suppose, aside from exploration, if you don't give motivation to the player for him to move on? I mean, once you find a green biome here near the city, that's it. I'm sorted. Everything I want, I can build. Everything I need, I can find. There's not really much motivation left to move on. Now, in one of my episodes, I moved on and built a watchtower here, so I can actually crawl across, you know, like move across and go here, and then from here be able to spend the night, and then move on to the next point. But that is just me personally deciding to move on to explore. But there's no force, there's no mechanism in the game in the moment that says, hey, you have to find a better place. Don't settle in. These zombies will destroy this house. This will not last forever. And as long as you stay in a spot, hopefully, they will, maybe zombies will come back more and more and more the longer you stay on a space, on a spot. I don't know, that would be pretty cool. Anyway, the scout zombie thing. I'm in two minds about it, because on one side, like I said, I'm finding it very exciting that the Fun Pimps try and find new ways of making life more difficult for you. However, on the other hand, in the context of zombieism or zombies, whatever, zombies are usually not intelligent as far as I know, from the movies and from the basic idea of what a zombie is. They just basically act on instinct. They see you, they smell you, they hear you, they follow the noise, and then they smell you, and then they want to eat your brain, whatever, yeah? but they're not really highly intelligent. Like, they go straight for walls, for doors. They don't think about, oh hey, I can open this window to crawl into this place. No, they just hit the front wall until it collapses or whatever. So giving zombie scouts intelligence in that sense, to be able to alarm other zombies, is something that on the other hand don't like. Because I think it takes away from the, okay, it's funny to say realism in this context, but it takes away from the zombie realism in my opinion. Now, if they would change the zombies to be mutated aliens, then yeah, absolutely would make sense. But in the context of zombies, does that make sense to you? Having a scout zombie that can alarm other zombies? Now, that's only rumored. I don't know if they're actually going to put that in, or if it's something they were thinking about but maybe not doing. But if they do, then I would be a little bit disappointed, because I personally feel it takes away from the zombie experience. I think if they want to make life more challenging for you as a player, they should do it without breaking that zombie contextual realism, whatever you want to call it. So I already have a bit, the spider zombies is also already something I have a bit of a question mark above, because they're smart enough to climb up walls. Which, again, is kind of... Where in zombie lore could you explain that unless they actually look like spiders? They look like humans. So, humans that became zombies. Why would they be intelligent all of a sudden to climb up walls? Make them look like spiders and make them... I mean, they should have zombie pigs, for example, because why should zombies not infect pigs? They bite pigs, pigs should become zombies. Not all of them, but some of them. So why not? Should be great. Zombie pigs. Anyway, to get back to my building here now, I have upgraded my greenhouse. And hopefully didn't bore you to tears with my waffle. I'm gonna get my forged iron now. Here, 36. That's pretty much what I need, I think. There we go, 144. Now, that greenhouse, in this episode, I will pretty much leave it like this. I just wanted to give you a glimpse of what it's gonna look like. I hope you're excited as what it's gonna look like when it's finished, because I'm not gonna just build a square wooden block. You can be sure of that. What I actually will do, I'll make it a proper greenhouse with glass walls. And it took me a while to work out the kinks how I'm achieving this, but I managed to work it out in the end. So I hope you're gonna join me in the next episode when I'm going to upgrade my greenhouse further. I will add the walls. Oh, did I forget one to upgrade there? No. I will probably offline upgrade all these guys, for example, because there's no point going through that completely. I kind of used upgrading the floor up there as a bit of an excuse to fill you in on my thoughts on the upcoming Alpha 10 changes, which are rumored so far. They're not set in stone. It could all change, but that's just something I found out so far. But we all see. Hopefully they release it soon. Sadly, this Friday they didn't release it, so nothing we can do about it. Again, I apologize that you missed so many days of this Let's Play. It was really frustrating for me anyway, so believe me, I was very, very disappointed, because I could have just moved on and start a new game and give up on this, because I originally thought that my issues came because I was on day 28. And I heard, again, I was reading some forums where people said, oh, once day 28 horde came, there's some issues with hordes and memory, and I thought the worst, and I thought, God, I have to start a new game. But it turns out that I think this is more to do with multiplayer issues related. I'm not 100% sure. I don't really play multiplayer because I find it pretty single-player-ish, because everybody just minds their own business and the maps are just too huge. If you play I like random generated maps, and they're just too huge. People don't really come across each other that much, and if they do, it's just somebody gonna kill you. You spawn at your house and they don't even know where that is anyway, so. And and I haven't found really anybody yet that I kind of know that plays this game. All the people I know that play games, they don't play this type of game. They play different games. And I haven't actually found anybody to hook up with that I know likes playing this game and wants to play some PvP together on a server, you know, where it's like a PvE server together against the zombies, where you don't constantly fight each other. Because I think the whole Rust and DayZ PvP is just great. I have the biggest gun, I just go out and shoot you all. So, I don't know, it's just not really what appeals to me. You know, the first 5 people that team up against with each other kill everybody else before they have a chance to form their own little clans. Anyway, so let's build my protection here again, so that I don't want the zombies to crawl up there overnight. Okay, here. Come on. I promise you, this greenhouse, in my opinion, looks awesome. It will look awesome. And you're gonna probably ask, why do you build everything with these traps and on legs and not the base? Well, the base, this is the thing. I could have built a base on legs. Sure, absolutely. I've seen people do it, I could have done it. The watchtower I built up here could have actually been a perfect base as well. However, I wanted to do 2 things. I wanted to build a mineshaft from underneath my house, which is hard to do when you're on legs, because you would have to kind of build a kind of big fat square as a leg, which I've done as well on a test build, where you have like a 3 by 3 square, and that is your actual leg, your middle leg in the middle of your building, and it goes all the way up, and in the middle you dig through like this, and you still can mine. But I didn't want that. The second reason I built my base flat is I wanted every single feral horde to be able to experience it by standing close by and be able to see the zombies. I wanted to get their attention. I wanted to be able to take the risk and go out when there is 20 cops and go, yes, shoot them. I wanted to be more involved in the killing of the feral hordes. Now, granted, most of the time it just means me standing behind these safe bars and shooting with a shotgun, but that to me is more interesting, at least. Well, once I have the top done here properly and zombies can't crawl up, I actually will stand out here and walk around. Once I moved my earth away and I moved my farm inside there, this is going to be my platform. I'm going to be walking around it all the time, and I will leave it all open here so that I can see the zombies, because I want to experience the feral hordes. I want to experience the attacks and be part of it, not just hide somewhere and go, yeah, okay, yeah, they're dead now, that's it. I don't really like that too much. I want to be more involved in the process of getting rid of the hordes, and maybe even jumping down when I feel more cocky and confident, like, you know, and loot some and kill some more while I'm down there. It's very hard to do if you have your base on legs. Anyway, that's enough rambling from me. If you have endured the video up to this point and you're still awake and paying attention and haven't switched off because of all my random waffling, I have a question, if somebody can answer it, and that's these cotton things. I planted these cotton things, I think on day, I don't know, when did I start building a farm? Day 13, 14, 15, I don't know. Whenever I started this, I planted the coffee and I planted the cotton. The cotton is stuck at this level. It's not growing anymore. This is the same 2 cottons I placed on that day. All these coffees you see here are the 4th time I planted them. They have grown 3 times in between. The corn also is a very long time and they're now not growing to the final stage. So I wonder if corn and cotton will just not grow to the final stage unless I meet another requirement. The cotton, the corn, I'm not sure because I only planted that a few days ago. The cotton, I planted ages ago. And what you see there is these guys, planted cotton. So eventually I got sick and tired of them wasting space, and I put my coffee down because I had them here, all the way across here. And I just basically took the shovel and took them out. And they're called planted cotton. That's the final stage they reached, planted cotton. They never turned into cotton. So does anyone know why that is? Is there something I'm not doing right? Do I need water after all? Even though the Fun Pimps said in their last release that water is not needed anymore for farming. or is it something I'm not doing right? I don't know. Maybe it's an accidental bug. Pff, who knows? So if you guys have any information on crops and cotton, the crops, mind you, I think might need another day or so to grow, but the cotton definitely seems stuck. So let me know. Okay, so next episode, what I will do is I will get more materials. I will do some upgrading offline, off camera, like all the sticks on the ground, but I probably will do that in the end. But next episode I will have enough glass, hopefully, to start the walls and to build my my final stage, to get into the final stage of design of this greenhouse. So it should be exciting either way. Then also we have the feral horde on day 35 coming up, which hopefully, if I don't get any problems with my frame rates again, I will be able to fully record. I mean, the day 28 one, which I thought I recorded and had all these issues again with the jumping frame rates, it became very difficult. It actually kept going down to 2 frames because I was sitting in there, so I might need to actually hide and wait until they're gone if they become so many that I just cannot deal with it recording. So, but we'll see how it goes. It's all to come. So thank you for watching, especially if you have stayed until now, and I see you in the next episode when I'm continuing the final stage of or the final level, whatever you want to call it, of the greenhouse. And until then, this is Games for Kicks, and happy gaming.